Hi, everybody. I'm here with Professor John Lande, who's going to be presenting November 14th at the Association of Missouri Mediators Annual Conference. Professor Lande is the Isidore Loeb Professor Emeritus at the University of Missouri School of Law, where he previously directed its LLM program in dispute resolution. And you know, as I'm sure you all do, that University of Missouri holds a special place in the field of mediation. And Professor Lande, amongst others, is the kind of person who gave that reputation to that school that continues to this day. His scholarship has been recognized with numerous awards, including the American Bar Association Section of Dispute Resolutions Award for outstanding scholarly work. He's a regular author. He has a website at www.law.missouri.edu/Lande, Lande. And he's a frequent participant in our annual conference because he always has something going on that's interesting. And I think you're going to be blown away by this. Professor, welcome.
Thank you very much, Jason. I appreciate the introduction and the invitation to present to AMM members again.
You always have something interesting happening, and this time I think you've beaten yourself. Why don't you tell us what you've developed and what you're going to show us?
Sure. I have developed an artificial intelligence tool, which I call the Real Practice Systems Negotiation and Mediation Coach, or RPS Coach for short. And it is based on decades of my publications about a wide range of things, including mediation, negotiation, early dispute resolution, preparation of clients, client decision-making, lots of things. And so I've uploaded these documents into a personalized AI tool on ChatGPT, given it some instructions, and it produces remarkable responses to a wide range of questions that mediators might have, and lawyers and parties and teachers and trainers and program managers, a wide range of people.
Is this something that's going to be available widely to people?
It is available now. It's available for free. People need to have a ChatGPT account. If you have a free ChatGPT account, that's all you need, and you can access it. And during the conference presentation, I will demonstrate it, and I'll have a PowerPoint which includes a link to a 2-page user guide to help people get started.
Wow, so there you go, people. Bring your questions to the conference because we're going to have live demonstration of this ChatGPT software. How did you get into the ChatGPT thing? I don't know. Let me just say to folks who are listening, whether you like it or not, you have to know ChatGPT. And you have to be at the upper level of knowledge because there's a lot AI can't do, but there's some things it really does well. And you're Professor Lande at the more sophisticated top level of use of ChatGPT. How did you get into it?
Well, it was a wonderful story. Susan Guthrie, who you and many of the people in the conference might be aware of, she was just the chair of the ABA section of dispute resolution. She gave a presentation of using AI in mediation. And I was just curious to hear about it. I wasn't thinking about developing it or using it a lot myself. And then towards the end of the presentation, we were just having an informal chat and people were talking about using AI for writing. And I don't practice mediation anymore, haven't for a very long time, but I write a lot. And so a light bulb went off and it occurred to me that I could use AI to help me write and use it to develop my own personalized AI tool. And so that's how I got going. Originally, I thought, well, this would help me find all these things that I've written I can't remember. It's not so good at that, but it's fabulous at answering questions that mediators and parties and lawyers and teachers and students might have.
That's fantastic. I can't wait for this. So you'll be distributing a sheet at the conference that people will be able to use to do live demo with you.
Well, I will be doing a live demo, so I'll spend the first part of the presentation describing the underlying theory of the real practice systems, which actually I talked about last year or in a prior conference. And then that was the theoretical basis that uh, provides the logic and the knowledge for this AI tool. So I'll present that for the first part of the program. And then after that, I will invite members of the audience to offer queries. I'm about to do a mediation in a workplace dispute. How do I help prepare the clients? Or this attorney is being difficult. How can I help get the attorney to be more reasonable? Or a zillion other questions. And so I will want attendees to offer their own suggestions of questions, and we'll put them in the chat and they'll see the results. I've done this presentation numbers of times, and people are blown away, as am I, about how good the responses are.
I'm blown away hearing you talk about it. I can't wait. I just can't wait. I'm very excited because, as I said, this is something that has been hard for lawyers to embrace because there have been so many horror stories where they write briefs and the cases were made up out of whole cloth. But it's a mistake to think that AI, and in particular ChatGPT, is not going to be ubiquitous and incredibly important going forward for everybody, including lawyers.
Well, one of the things, and of course, there are these horror stories that you're talking about, and these tools make mistakes, they hallucinate, they make up stuff, but that's not a good reason not to use it. It's a good reason to learn how to use it well and to learn how to recognize the problems and to test it. I mean, all sorts of, nothing is perfect. Not even these creatures called humans are perfect. And we all make mistakes, and what we need to do is to learn how to recognize them and to deal with them. And so, it produces a lot of wonderful stuff, and it just requires people to learn how to use it. And part of that is to recognize when there are problems. I've just got an article that will be coming out soon about how to, use a variety of prompts to learn how to determine to make sure that you're getting good material. Actually, I have a basic one that's already available that will be in the PowerPoint that will be distributed, and then this new one is an advanced version about how to use AI tools.
Fantastic. Like I say, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. That's November 14th, people. Sign up for this conference. We have some really great speakers. Professor Lande is always entertaining, and this one sounds like something you really need to know about.
Yeah, people really, I mean, I know that there's a lot of hesitation. Particularly, I've found among academics, many of the practitioners are more open to it, in my experience, in part because the market is telling them that this is something that's expected and it helps them do better work and save time. There are these risks, and you need, especially if you're going to be filing papers in court or relying on the material to check it out. And you can also use it to do all sorts of wonderful things that just you can't imagine. So actually, I'm going to give you a chance to give me a prompt. One of the cool things is that you can have it, you can dictate it. I normally type it in, but I've started to dictate it. So can you think of a question from your own practice experience?
Yikes. Are there other programs like this out here, or are you one of the early people to this bar?
Uh, there, in terms of the ones that are prominent, they're mostly about exchanging numbers and figuring out what the right numbers are.
Right.
And this one is more about how to interact, although you could also, enter. I mean, it's not designed to say, okay, we're going to try and reach this number that both sides can agree on. I mean, you could use it that way, but that's not what it's designed for. That's what these other tools are designed for. On ChatGPT, there are, numbers of people have created their own personalized GPTs or
Right.
personal AI tools, And there are some that do negotiation and mediation. I haven't looked at them much, but the short answer is, from what I've heard from people who know about this stuff, this is far and away the only and best one that does this thing, which is really to give advice about how to interact during a mediation or negotiation, or to prepare for.
And the teaching of the ChatGPT where you input the documents, or is that exclusively or primarily your own scholarship or other materials?
Um, it was primarily my own documents. There are 253 documents, of which 210 are mine. I included a variety of other things, particularly something like the model standards of conduct for mediators, some tools about screening for domestic violence, other things like that. One of the things that I learned is that um, you can upload material that is copyrighted to train these tools. And generally, that is not a copyright violation because it's considered part of the fair use exception, because you're not reproducing the whole text. You're not even reproducing large bodies of the text. You're synthesizing. You may have small quotes. And most of this is mine, but I've also included a variety of other things like these general guides.
So that'll be November 14th, and we'll see you then, folks.
And so I will look forward to seeing you all at the conference, and I am looking forward to hearing all the questions that you might have for your practice and seeing what RPS Coach, my AI tool, can do to answer your questions.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Professor Lande, for joining us. And I think a lot of people will want to sign up for the conference based on this.